Hey guys, let's start with new special chapter of Loyalpin Volume 2, The Mediator. I used to dream that there might be a day when we would both have the opportunity to watch the snow falling together. But I never thought that day would come. Pelantita uttered this conversation while sitting with hand on her chin, staring blankly at the white snow that had fallen and scattered on the ground next to the window. On the opposite chair sat Princess Anil in the same posture as her. On the surface, it looks like it will be difficult, Princess Anil said, smiling and showing off the deep dimples in her cheeks. But what you desire, if I can do it, I would do it without hesitation. Princess Anil refers to the Grand Prince and his family traveling to England for vacation. By taking this chance, she invited Pelantita and Prick to come along and travel abroad together for the first time. I can't believe that you will remember. Pelantita smiled softly. Because it's just the contents of my reflections and letters between us that have passed so long ago. Anything related to Kunpen, Anil can remember it all. A little smile changed to a broad smile as soon as Lady Pelantita heard Princess Anil saying, "Looking at the snow falling together like this, do you still feel lonely?" "Not at all," Princess Anil said, smiling sweetly. "Since I have you by my side, I was never lonely again." Anil's mouth are as sweet as if coated by sugar. Pelantita stretched out her slender fingers and touched Princess Anil's lips. She raised her brown eyes to meet Princess Anil's dark, sparkling eyes sweetly. The princess responded to Lady Pelantita's gesture by grabbing her hand and kissing it softly. Pelantita was embarrassed by the behavior of the person in front of her, to the point where she had to bite her lip tightly. Pelantita slowly withdrew her hand from Princess Anil's hand when she heard a small body moving. It was lying on a large single bed, with its arms and legs spread out. Princess Anil walked towards her bed, located in the middle of the room. She lowered her body and sat down in a soft, thick bed as she looked at Alinlada for a long moment before reaching out to stroke the sweaty hair of her little niece in a gesture filled with love and affection. Alin kicked the blanket off. Doesn't this little kid know how to get cold? Last night, little Lady Alinlada cried and wished to stay in her aunt's bedroom. No matter how much the Grand Prince and Lady Parvati tried to distract her, it wasn't practical. Princess Anil therefore solved the problem by reluctantly bringing her beloved niece to sleep together in her and Pelantita's room. Though before that, she dreamed that she would sleep and hug Lady Pin all night to get rid of the cold. Still, everything came crashing down when Anilada chose to sleep between them, because the child wanted to cuddle both her Auntie Anil and Auntie Pin alternately. Under Princess Anil's unavoidable situation, Pelantita, on the other hand, looked specially delighted that the lady came to spend the night together, because the young woman wishes to take on the role of Alinlada's mother in disguise, to her fullest in a way she has never had the opportunity before. Moreover, was the fact that even a grown up child like Prick would cry out and put her sleeping sheet next to Princess Anil's bed, and sleep for Prick was afraid of the foreign ghost as soon as the Grand Prince took Prick to see the guest room in the Grand Prince residence. Unaccustomed to the quiet and somber atmosphere of Western style decorations, Prick rushed to knock on the door and asked to sleep with Princess Anil early in the evening. Princess Anil spent her first night in England with the sound of playing patty cake between the little lady and Prick in the early evening, the voice of Lady Pelantita reading a bedtime story to her little niece while falling asleep, the sound of Prick snoring before dawn, not counting Alinlada's sleep, putting her tiny legs over switching between the bodies of Princess Anil and Pelantita all night long. She couldn't find anything as sweet as she had imagined, even just a little. "Is that Prick? Come in," Princess Anel immediately knew that it was a close minion who was knocking at the door, because a moment ago Princess Anel asked Prick to bring afternoon tea and snacks because she wanted to find time to be alone with Pelantita when the little lady took a nap during the day after being naughty all morning. My lady, Prick responded before opening the door and coming in, bringing a tray of tea and a large plate of scones and placing them at the table by the window where Pelantita was sitting. Prick humbly bowed her back and gulped as she smelled the freshly baked cones. If you want to eat, please eat. Divide in half and spread jam first, then top with creams as you like. Pelantita spoke gently to Prick, knowing well that since arriving here, Prick could hardly eat anything. The food was full of unfamiliar spices and large pieces of meat that required a fork and knife. When she saw that Prick wanted to eat scones, she felt relieved. You can apply more jam than that, Prick. Come, I'll make it for you. Lady Pin was annoyed by Prick's awkward gesture and changed to serve her closest servant instead of waiting to receive service as usual. It's delicious, Lady Pin, Prick said after munching on a scone. In front of Lady Pelantita, Prick didn't dare to chew and talk like she used to because she was afraid of Lady Pin's surly eyes that always looked at her every time she acted like that. Lady Pin doesn't just prepare scones for Prick. Still, she prepared for Princess Anil and Lady Anilada, who at this time, Auntie tried to wake her up as gently as possible by kissing her niece's round cheeks, both left and right, so many times that the little lady began to open her eyes in an exhausted state slowly. Good girl, you have slept for too long. Get up quickly and eat some snacks. After eating, I'll take you to play in the snow. Can I go along, my lady? I have dreamed of playing in the snow for a long time. Prick asked loudly and clearly before throwing an unknown number of scones into her mouth in an expert manner. I must take you along anyway, since we have all come here. Brilliant! Prick forgot and answered Princess Anil while munching on scones. Such an action couldn't escape someone's sharp eyes. Prick! Yes, Lady Pin? How often have I told you not to talk while chewing? Yes, my lady, I'll keep it in my mind. Pea Prick, please follow Anil quickly. Lady, don't run so fast. The snow is thick and it's hard for me to follow up. The snowfield stretched as far as the eye could see in front of the Grand Prince Palace at this time. It filled with laughter that was very pleasing of Lady Anilada, who was running around with Prick falling in the distance because the many layers of clothing that Prick wore were thick and bulky until her body became swollen, as if she had battered fried. Isn't Alin cold? Prince Anantavut said, lamenting his daughter to his favorite younger sister. Listen to that giggling sound. Your daughter is very mischievous. Can't help it. I want a daughter like you, the Grand Prince said with a smile. Who would have thought that she would be so similar? I just realized that I have been so naughty. At this time, it was Princess Anil who was laughing. Brother, please be aware. From my experience, this age isn't my most naughty time. Don't frighten me like that, Anil. The Grand Prince smiled warmly. I remember well, when you are mischievous, you got wounds coming back to the front palace every day. This time, the two siblings cheered in unison before changing to happily smiling as they looked at Lady Parvati and Lady Pelantita. The two daughters-in-law were trying to grab the young lady, running left and right in an awkward gesture. How is the spouse life between you and Kunpin? It's like a dream that happened. We care for each other without fail, and our love is still as sweet and deep as when we first fell in love. Princess Anil spoke as she casted her dark glowing eyes on Lady Pelantita without looking away. Then I don't have to worry. The Grand Prince followed the eyes of his younger sister before spreading a soft smile. Anil's happiness is something that I both adore and cherish. Thank you, brother. Princess Anil turned her face to smile at Prince Anantavut with a smile as bright as the sun shining brightly. Being a spouse with someone you love the most, is this good? The Grand Prince spoke with a smile that made it difficult to speculate the meaning. You spoke as if at this time your heart engraved with the shadow of Chongfa, Princess Anil non specifically said, as she saw Lady Parvati successfully grab her only daughter in her arms, surrounded by Lady Anil Lada's laughter. Hmm. The Grand Prince looked absent minded, even though he looked at the picture before him. Nevertheless, he couldn't see what was in front of him. I don't know how to answer your question. That alone is a clear answer. Ha! You're still as smart as ever. Even Chow Fa is married to Chow Jue. Moreover, they also have twin sons. You still can't give up? It's not only me who can't give up. The Grand Prince smiled faintly. Chow Yong also can't give up on you. At this time, it was Princess Anil who turned away and looked strangely at Prince Anantvat's face, which was deep in thought and contemplation. You know? Of course, I do. If you love someone, shouldn't you notice everything about them? Changfa has never concealed the look in her eyes overflowing with love every time she looked at you. Even her sons, Changfa named them Vaya and Vayu, which means wind, just like your name. That matter I myself was able to notice until now. Choyong still can't give up. For the rest of our lives, the Grand Prince turned his eyes to Princess Anil for a long time. There may be someone who will remain in her heart forever. On one side of the snowfield appeared an image of Brick rolling down a steep slope after she made the mistake of lifting her legs high while taking a step. She lost control and fell backward while chasing after the little lady who was making snow and throwing it at Brick. It was as if they were starting a war with each other. After rolling almost 10 minutes, Brick could stop the movement with the help of Prince Anantavat, who sat down in the direction Brick was rolling in to wait to receive Brick into his arms. No matter how good or bad it was, Brick had also helped him to investigate the shameful case of Lord Quacket before. Even though his body was hurting a bit because her body was big, nevertheless, the prince refused to utter even half a word of complaint. Brilliant! Brick raised both hands in salutation and uttered a short word of admiration for the man before rushing to ambush the young lady again, without fearing any punishment. At this time, in Brick's eyes, Lady Anilada was considered an enemy worthy of fighting Brick. They seem to have fun over there. Princess Anil, who was quietly making her snow, started a conversation with Lady Pelantita, who was also making her snow. It's not like Kunpin, who is diligently trying to make a little duck and doesn't say a word. Princess Anil spoke while smiling. Anil, Pelantita's face looked extremely confused at this time. Yes, I'm making you a swan, not a duck. Oh gosh! Princess Anil's slender eyes suddenly widened in surprise. No matter how I look at it, I still see the sky as a duck. Anil? Pelantita was so grumpy that she picked up a small piece of snow and threw the snow in Princess Anil's hand, which was carefully molding like a mischievous girl when she didn't get what she wanted. Kunpin, don't be so mischievous. Don't you know what I'm doing? I don't know. Pelantita scowled. And I don't want to know. I'm sculpturing you a heart. Princess Anil sweetly smiled when she held out a snow heart the size of a palm and displayed it in front of Lady Pelantita with a highly innocent and cheerful gesture. I give you. Princess Anil still widely smiled until deep dimples were on both sides of her cheeks. Please take it. Pelantita's face was red as she unconsciously reached out to receive the heart-shaped snow sculpture from Lady Anil's hand, looking extraordinarily embarrassed. Still, it was not yet time to answer. A clear voice suddenly sounded from far away. Auntie! Auntie! Anil Lada ran straight towards her auntie, as fast and accurately as a bullet flying from the barrel of a gun. Let's make a snowman. Can you make one? I will ask Auntie Pin to teach me. Huh. Princess Anil only laughed when she realized that her only niece was so flattering to please everyone. I don't know how to do it, Alan, Pelantita hurriedly said. What about letting Auntie Anil teach you? Anyone can teach. Anil loves you both. My niece is such a sweet talk. Princess Anil only thought because she knew her niece. She heartily smiled, grabbed Anil Lada and hugged her loosely before bending down to give a big kiss on her red cheek. Come, let's start making snowman. Princess Anil stood up and brushed away the little bits of snow stuck to her clothes. Prick, come, I'll teach you how to make one. Yes, my lady. Prick hurriedly ran to Princess Anil as the best servant. First of all, you have to start by making the base. You have to gather the snow into small balls first. Yes, that's it. Now you must keep rolling it until it becomes bigger and bigger. That's very good. Prick's brilliant. Princess Anil, are you tricking to praise me? Prick, bending over and rolling the snow into a ball, began to feel a slight pain in her back, so much so that she had to look coldly at Princess Anil. No, I'm praising you from my heart, don't you know? Princess Anil smiles before bending down to shape the doll's body using the same method. She had just taught Prick with Little Lady as her subordinate. Pelantita began to sculpt the head, wanting to be as involved in the snowman as anyone else. The Grand Prince and Lady Parvati saw the situation was going in such a fun direction. They hurried to find elements to decorate the snowman from the kitchen and storeroom of the palace, including carrots and large black buttons, black plastic water tank, and colorful tablecloths. When they arrived, they found Princess Anil assembling the body of a snowman, starting with an enormous lump of snow made by Prick, who almost rolled over a mile of snow. Before lifting the second large ball on top of the first to be the body, finally the most miniature ball, as the head made by Lady Pelantita, was placed on top. And so the prince and princess lived together happily for a long time. Pelantita read the last sentence of Anil Lada's favorite story. The girl looked at her with sleepy eyes. Pelantita was so fond of the little lady that she had to bend down and kiss her cheek before asking in a sweet voice, Are you sleepy? I'm not at all worried yet. Can I ask for another story? I'm still having fun. The unmistakable voice that replied was not the voice of a child like Anil Lada. Nevertheless, instead, it was the voice of a grown up girl who at this time could only stretch her neck and secretly listen to the stories Lady Pelantita read to the little lady before she went to sleep. Prick! Pelantita's angry voice when talking to Prick differed from what she said to Anil Lada. It was as if it were coming from the lips of a different woman. You can sleep now, because Lady Anil will be asleep. Yes, my lady. Prick secretly sighed a little, hoping to listen to one more story told in Lady Pelantita's sweet voice before going to sleep. Sweet dreams, Prick. It was Princess Anil who said in a gentle voice that Prick had heard throughout her life. Prick accidentally smiled widely, delighted because no one had ever wished her good dreams before. So she decided to go to bed quickly and have sweet dreams like Princess Anil had so carefully blessed. Yes, my lady. Prick accepted the word before laying down to sleep, realizing that she was exhausted today because she kept chasing and chasing, chasing to tickle the waist and also making bullets to hurt a snowman like the round ball until it broke. There was no shape left to be touched. Soon, Prick's distinctive snoring sounded, signaling that she had drifted off to sleep. Princess Anel secretly smiled at Pelantita, who is now hugging little Anil Lada's sleeping body. Princess Anil turned off the lamp on the beside table gently before stretching out her hand to hold Pilantita's thin hand, who was hugging Anil Lada very tenderly. Pilantita pursed her lips, as she usually did when she was embarrassed, even without any words. Nevertheless, the two women's bodies were silently conversing between each other. Princess Anil changed her posture from holding Lady Pilantita's hand to move her hand around the other person's thin waist sensibly. On the surface, it looks like Princess Anil is holding Lady Anilada and Lady Pilantita in her arms in a very natural gesture. Lady Pilantita responded to Princess Anil's gesture by reaching out and caressing Princess Anil's thin waist. At this time, the mediator, like Anilada, seemed to receive a warm embrace from her beloved aunties, and everything in this room was coated with the sound of Prick's steady snoring. That's it for this chapter, guys. And please do comment how did you find the special chapter of Loyal Pin Volume 2. Thank you.